What's up, guys? How's it going? This is Ryan from Marlow. And today, I got some, some good old spaghetti and some sausage, like I've done a million times. But it is what it is. We back at it again. Also got some orange drink. I had to turn my AC off, so I'm probably gonna be sweating here in a minute. I'm already kind of sweating. So, apologize if you can see that, but today, and it's in this video, I'm gonna have to, or not I'm gonna have to, but today I'm gonna be talking about some anime that I've been watching, kind of catch you up on what I've been watching. So, this is what we're going to be doing. First, I want to kind of brief you. I think I'm caught up. I don't know if I've seen the most recent episode yet of My Hero Academia. I'm usually a few days late on watching the newest episodes. However, I can give you kind of like brief synopsises of every season, at least leading up to the not every season, but from season 5 to season 7, because we're in season 7 right now. So, because I kind of have like different opinions on each season, so I thought I would let you guys know. So, for those of you that aren't aware, My Hero Academia is a show basically about how there's a world where 80% of the world's population has these like things called quirks, where it basically are like little abilities that you can use. You can kind of think of it like X-Men, if you're aware of that. Everyone, it's like if X-Men wasn't 20% of people, well, I think even in X-Men, like, mutants are over half the population, or about half the population. So, I don't actually know that from comics or anything, just everything I've seen on TV, the way they portray it. So, what happens is that there's this young boy, the main protagonist. He's quirkless. He doesn't have an ability. But he admires this guy who's like the best hero in Japan. And you end up seeing that hero gives him his ability. So now he can go to like superhero school and everything. So basically the whole show is them fighting villains. Learning how to become heroes. One of those like young adult type animes, like that's the stage of life that they're in. And so there's these different villain groups where different, a lot of it's unorganized, regular robbers and people who do arson and all that. And there's a league that eventually forms, which, and this is season 5, they eventually start working with this thing called, like, basically this organized crime unit of people with quirks. And they're called, I think even some of them are normal, but most of them are just like, it's like organized crime stuff. All of it's organized crime, but some of them are normal. I don't see them doing abilities, but they probably have them, doesn't matter. They're called the Paranormal Liberation Front, or the Paranormal Liberation Army. And so they are trying to basically do some kind of apocalyptic, not really apocalyptic thing, but they're like, it's the standard, take over the world, take over the government, and then, well, defeat the government, take over the world type of organizations, basically. And season 5 is them gathering the information for that, while also, due to the events of season 4, there's a new, top hero, because, as I said earlier, the mentor to the main protagonist is like meant to be the top one hero in Japan, and they have like a ranking system. So the second one, who was trying to take number 1 spot, eventually gets it, and so you see him dealing with that. And then so season 6, they found out in the end of season 5, they find out that in the end of season, so in the end of season 5, they find out when their attack is the Paranormal Liberation Army. So they gather all the heroes they gather all of the heroes so that they can do a counteroffensive, and that's what season 6 is. And then season 6 is all of the fallouts of that. And then what happens after is that, because, I can go into the reasons. Basically, the main guy, you find out that he doesn't just have one quirk. He has multiple quirks. And then because of, I can go into those reasons. I don't necessarily want to super spoil it. But I'm not like holding back from spoilers, but it's just that these explanations I probably would take up the whole video, but maybe that's a good thing. Basically, it's just that this is like not really the anime that I really want to talk about, but I just want to briefly mention it just to fill in some time. So, this particular, basically, the main villain is after the quirk of the protagonist, because with that quirk, he becomes basically unstoppable. Because what the main villain does is he can steal quirks from people and transfer them into others, and he can transfer it into anything. I think it's anything living he can transfer it into, or not even anything living, just anything. Because I don't know. Basically, they have these like reanimated corpses called nomus with like various different quirks. It's a crazy show. I really recommend anyone watch it if you're into anime. It just takes like it's one of those animes, like a shonen type anime where, well, it is a shonen anime, but it's one of those animes that's like that takes like 2 seasons to get off the ground. Not that it's bad. It's very interesting and intriguing, but the major plot points, they have to build you to there, you know what I mean? So it's something you have to have patience for. You're not gonna get like a super powered, protagonist by the end of season 1. He has to grow there. And trust me, I love some overpowered protagonists. But, so then, season 6, there's honestly some political discussion, because what ends up happening is that or is this season 7? Yeah, I think it's like, it bleeds into season 7. Oh, well, yeah, season 6 is just, there's a huge fight. A lot of people get hurt. And, like, it's pretty insane. And then, yeah, I'm thinking just everyone gets hurt. The main villain, you think he's gonna, like, he can't really win. You are rooting for the heroes. But what I like about My Hero is that you're rooting for the heroes, but you can understand the villains, and you kind of want the villains to do better. You can kind of both sides it, kind of. But it's really funny, because every time that the main villain, whose name is All for One, when everyone asks him, why do you want to take over the world? What's your ambition? Bro's like, oh, I'm really into comic books. When I was a child, I read comic books, and that's what gave me this ambition. It's really funny that he did the joke of, I read it in a book once. Like what? So, season 7, the main protagonist, because he wasn't able to completely capture the villain, and knows that the main villain, who is also the mentor of the main villain, hard to explain. Basically, there's two people over here who are heroes, and then there's two people over here that are villains. The mentor of each are related some way, which passes on to their predecessors. Really does make sense. So just, if you ever decide watching it, explaining all of the lore would, in and of itself, is a 40-minute video, or maybe a 50-minute video, just explaining from each season to season to season to season, like why things happen. And going from beginning, to end, it's like, if I were to actually write that up as a script, do it simple style, Did I double blink just then? I feel like I'm blinking this eye, but I'm also blinking this eye. I'm gonna look back at this video. Y'all gonna be flaying me. Anyways, I'm sorry. So, but yeah, a quick intermission. So shout out to Simple ASMR. I was in his live stream, and I recommended that I actually told him I really enjoyed his movie review when he went outside and did the video with drinking the coffee in a can, the energy drink coffee. And he went out and he reviewed a movie called Boogie Nights, and he was just out in public. It was a really cool video, and I still go back and watch it. And in the video he posted about the Dark Horse review. He talks about I don't really know half the vocabulary, but he was describing the movie pretty well. So good job there. I'm gonna leave a comment on that video. I just don't normally comment all the time, but I catch every video, and he probably does the same with me. Maybe. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna leave a comment and let him know. But yeah, shout out to him. So if I'm inspiring more people with my movie reviews, then hey, what more could I ask for? That'd be great. But anyways, it's not like I invented it, but if you're inspired by main character, I'll take that. So anyway, season 7 is they're trying to devise a plan to defeat Shigaraki, who's the main villain, who's the mentor of the main villain. From the last few seasons, reason in season 4 why. Basically, the reason why, and it's All Might is the number one hero. So All Might and All For One are villains. Or All Might is the hero. All For One's the villain. And All For One wants All Might's power, one for all. Yeah. And the power of one for all is to be able to pass. It's the opposite of All For One. It passes abilities to other people as opposed to taking abilities from other people. So it's a give instead of a take. But so they're devising a plan to defeat him in season 7. And basically where I left off, pretty cliffhangery, you don't know what's gonna happen or who's gonna win or what's gonna happen. So, I might have said that twice. What does it matter? I thought season 5 was decent because what you're trying to get used to Endeavor as a hero, who's the number 2 hero. But then he's now the number 1 hero. And so you're trying to get used to him as a hero. But then, because he went from number 2 to number 1. That was interesting. He gets attacked by a Nomu, defeats it. It's really cool. And in season 7, but then in season 6, then they're attacking the paranormal liberation front. A lot of cool stuff happens. And then now in season 7, everything's pretty ramping up pretty well. Of the 3 seasons, obviously season 7 is my favorite. I would say season 5 and then season 6. Season 6 is like decent, but it kind of just has this thing where, or no, that's wrong. It's 765 because in season 5 it's like it's decent and it's ramping up to something, but it's kind of boring to watch. That's how I felt when I initially watched it, and I kind of like stopped watching My Hero for a bit so I could like binge a whole season. And when I tell you I binged a whole season, I binged a whole season in literally a day. Well, not a day. I watched 13 episodes in one day, and then I watched 12 episodes the next day, and then I was done. And then, so I basically in 2 to 3 days, like, binged an entire anime season. To some of you, that may seem like light work, but it took me 8 hours. I just sat there and kept watching the same show. Hours and hours and hours and hours have passed. And I wasn't getting tired of it. But I ran out of water, so I'm gonna have to go get more water. And we are back. So My Hero's at a pretty decent spot. It's not like my favorite anime right now, but it's doing pretty good. I don't do a lot of animes at once. I like to fixate on one, and then when I get caught up with one, I'll fixate on another, get caught up with that, and then move on. But I do watch it pretty often. I don't watch it like every single day, but I do watch it pretty often. And so so that's pretty much my review of My Hero Academia. I would say it's pretty decent. It's pretty good. It's a really good show. You're gonna like it if you like anime. Where it's at right now, I kind of feel 50-50 on it. I hope it gets like really good. I mean, it's getting really good because he has all these different powers. We finally see the culmination of all of his work. But for some reason, I don't feel satisfied when I'm watching it, and I think that's just because of the cliffhangers, and that's what they do in anime. I'm sure when Dragon Ball Z was coming out, like the next time on Dragon Ball Z and nothing happened, I get that's like probably something that is a very regular experience for other animes. But maybe because it's not the nostalgia behind Dragon Ball Z that I have, that doesn't give me the same feeling. It doesn't give me that same feeling. So because of the nostalgia that I have, which logically it just makes sense, but it's not like one of my top favorites, but I would recommend it to somebody. I would say it's really good. You definitely should watch it. Now the anime that I've been getting obsessed over. Every episode I watch, I get like happier and happier. Because I finally found something I feel like I can watch to the end. It is probably, I like to savor the episodes because I don't want to binge through it so quick that I don't get to really fall in love with it. You gotta take your time, let it simmer. That kind of thing. So, basically, this noodle. Like that. There we go. Okay. So the next one is Bungo Stray Dogs. I don't know if any of you guys have watched it. Probably most of you have. It's really good. It's like, so the basic premise is that there's this kid who gets kicked out of an orphanage and he's starving. Well, he thinks he's about to starve, and then he sees a man floating down the river, feet in the air. He's like, oh my god, is that guy dead? Pulls him out, and there's this guy who was like, thank you for pulling me out. And then he was like, he intentionally, jumped into the river. And essentially, you see this guy, like, he gives this whole spiel about how he wants to die, via plank technique, and but not any technique, but the thing. I can't say, self-deletion. Because I don't want to get demonetized or whatever, but basically it's a big joke because he's like, he wants to, he's kind of like the character of the show who's like, he's not the main character, but he's like the side main character. Kind of like how in JJK you have like Itadori Yuji's the main character, but like everyone cares about Gojo. It's like the same relationship because he's the overpowered person in that anime. Because it's similarly to like My Hero Academia, how there was where there's like a world full of people who are like, quirks and things like that. In this world, there are people with abilities, is what they call them. But all of those abilities have conditions in order for them to activate. Well, not really conditions, but all of them do different things. All of those people have like different abilities. So what this guy's ability is to cancel out all abilities if he touches the person. If he can touch the person, he can make them a normal person with no abilities. So he's a really good, anti-offense type person, like a very, you know what I mean? So he's a good offensive person, but they take him in. Or they take the guy to eat. They're like, what do you guys want? What do you want to eat? They ask the kid. He says, I want to get tea leaves on rice or something like that. Basically, I want to drink tea and eat rice or something like that. And so he eats like 20 bowls of rice. And then, basically, you go to find out that the reason he gets kicked out of the orphanage is because there was a tiger that attacked the orphanage and they blamed him for it. And they're looking for the tiger, and that's the job that they're on, these two people. And they're a part of like the armed defense, the armed detective agency, I think it's called. So they investigate things. They're above like military police, like they do the cases that the military police can't. So they go and do like, really high level cases, but even just cases that local police can't solve. So that's what they do. And so, because of that, they asked the kid, you want to help us catch the tiger? Because he was the last person who the tiger saw, or it had an encounter with, 4 days before that event. That was that day. And that's what the last tiger was spotted. So they tried to bait the tiger out. They reveal that the kid actually is a tiger. That's his ability, is that he transforms into a tiger. They recruit him into the agency because he's a wanted. He's wanted. Like, he couldn't go anywhere else. He'd be on the run for the rest of his life. So basically, yeah, so basically, they invite him into the armed defense or armed detective agency. I want to say, keep wanting to say defense for some reason. The armed detective agency, and it's a really cool anime that's like a camaraderie. Like he's trying to grow. The first like encounter that he had with someone was like also another orphan, which is like kind of, it's cheesy I guess maybe, but kind of cool. He saves her, takes pity on her. Like there's a bunch of like really cool aspects of the show I really enjoy. I also love when like the really strong characters are really funny, and they're funny for ridiculous reasons. Like I think that's why everyone loves Gojo. I mean, I know why the girls love Gojo, but I think he's strong. He's awesome. But then also he's a dork, and he does whatever he wants, and no one can tell him no. No one can tell him that he can't go do what he was about to go do, because are you really gonna stand up to the strongest person in the world? The strongest person, the person who's the most strong. No, you're not gonna do that. So, this show particularly has a lot of themes around orphans, and it's showing. I mean, I know that so the last show that I saw that had themes around this, but I never finished it, was Blue Exorcist. And every time I watch it, I get to the same part and stop, and I just don't know if it's my anime or not. But I feel like it gets stale. Like after episode 2, you watch episode 3, 4, like it gets stale. But I could be wrong. Maybe I should watch further, and maybe someone will encourage me to. But this anime, it drew me in super quick. The first few episodes were really like, they gave me the idea that this is gonna be like an unhinged fan servicey type anime, which I wouldn't have a problem with. But like it's pretty standard of an anime, particularly like this, or not particularly like this. It was giving me vibes that it was a standard anime, like it was gonna be that type of archetype of an anime. But then the more I watched, I was like, oh no, this anime is actually like they're taking a serious take on all of this. They're trying to do things while also keeping it light and fun. They're kind of showcasing some things that make you care more, and they do really good character development. So I'm really liking it so far. Alright, and we're back. So yeah, Bungo Stray Dogs is like a really interesting anime. Each individual character I care about for a different reason. Even the side characters that you really don't care about. And then they have a doctor. There's a character, and if anyone who's watched the show knows, I love that character. Basically, the way that her ability works is that she can heal people, but she can only heal people once they're near death. So she has to bring you near death. Like if you're only minorly injured, or if you have just a little bit of like an internal organ bleeding, she has to bring you to near death, so that way she can revive you again. So she like tortures you to heal you, which is like a really funny, like backwards take, contradictory backwards take for a doctor. And they make her the standard like anime character that's like sadistic and meant to be like, I don't know, you laugh because you're not supposed to, but like, well, they make it funny in the anime, but yeah, so it's kind of funny. But pretty good. I'd recommend anybody watch it. And the main character ends up getting into a fight with the main villain and whoops his ass just because he has conviction and a better ability. And that fight, when you eventually get to it, that boy it was awesome. I'll say that. It was awesome. He owned him. He really did. Remember, this was just like a kind of a haphazard video, just so I can get videos up. I just wanted to talk and chat with you guys. I'm kind of falling behind on my schedule. I need to make like a few more videos, so that way you guys have more content to see. But I'll be working on it. It's just the latter half of the month. If I start posting less, I get in a lot of pain towards the latter end of the month because the medication that I get for the whole month, like, it starts wearing off. And I have daily medications and I take them daily, but it just doesn't feel like it works that well. I don't know. I'll probably pop an ibuprofen and like go lay on the couch and I'll be fine. But maybe I'll give you guys a health update, or maybe I'll just do some venting. Maybe I could do like a good venting video and then have that go up for next week and see what you guys think. Or maybe not. Who knows? But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope that you all are doing well. Let me know in the comments. Join my Discord if you want, because, you know, that's where I'm going to be hanging out. And also I'm going to start doing more events on there. I know I've been saying this for a while, but I'm going to be hosting gaming events on there. We can play all types of games, Fortnite, Roblox, whatever. And I'll be hosting game nights and everything. So if you guys are down for that, join the Discord. Let me know. We'll get it. Then we'll definitely get it sorted. A lot of you guys are from different time zones. I know I didn't expect all of you to be on my time zone, but I mean, like, a lot of you guys are from Europe, which is awesome. I have like three UK people in my Discord, I think, or at least 2. And then I have people from all over America. But, you know, it's just awesome to get to know everyone that pops in there. So if you want to connect with me, just, you know, hop in the Discord and start chatting. But I hope you guys are all doing well. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.